Yeah, so we just want to talk today about what's happening on planet Earth. You have Islamic radicals talking about a caliphate. You have communists looking really healthy, dealing with the nations on some very communistic type terms. And you have the good old corporate power elite, the super rich, who seem to think that there's a population problem and they need to get rid of a few billion people to help out their grandchildren. Very interesting times we live in. So this morning I'm just kind of toying with the idea of the ladder of Jacob and the ladder that Jesus, Yeshua, talked about in John 1 towards the end of the chapter. And I'm just wanting to, posit that we as human beings have three angels, two good ones and one bad one. And it's based on the idea that all of heaven produced so many angels and a third of them fell. And then add to that the verse where Jesus said, the angels of these little ones constantly behold the face of their Father in heaven. And he says, see to it that you do not despise these little ones. And to me, it says that there's a whole hierarchy of angelic watchfulness that Jesus is describing. So, hanging out here with Moshe. Moshe!
What's up?
We are just doing the cry hop thing, but I had this great thought about videotaping and scribes catching the kingdom of God on some kind of medium of recording. We think Steven Spielberg is awesome. Well, imagine that there might be angels created before humanity that have been around for at least 6,000 to 10,000 years, and possibly hundreds of thousands of years, recording like I am. And could it be plural per person in the language? I don't know. It seems that way in the English, that the verb tenses or whatever could be plural. And I don't know what it is in Greek, because it's Greek to me. But the idea that the angels of this little one are constantly beholding the face of their Father, and then you have to add the Job conversation between Satan and God over Job. So like Satan was assigned to Job for the day or something. I don't know. And that also add to it the whole idea that there are principalities and powers, and there's this hierarchy under the captain of the hosts, or the Lord of the host, which is Yeshua. And so at the top of the ladder, of literally described in two places for Jacob, the Jacob's ladder, and for Yeshua in the book of John, that this ladder represents the literal ladder of hierarchy and how they ascend and descend over a human being. And so there's these beams coming out of heaven, which is the spiritual heaven, which is all around and throughout everything we think, do, and breathe. That beam is your ladder. You have a ladder, and you probably haven't been aware of it, but everybody has one. Everybody has this beam of light that is focused on them at all times, and I would argue by two good angels and one bad angel. And the bad duality of this Christian thing isn't so dualistic after all, because when you think about it, redemption kind of blurs the lines. Grace blurs the lines between the bad and the good on the human. Jacob himself was a mess. Jacob was a worm. It says in Isaiah 41:14, my life verse, fear not, you worm, Jacob. And I'll turn you into a sharp thrashing sledge, and you'll mow down mountains and turn them into chaffer. That's why I like that verse. So we are all these weak, broken, sinful creatures that have no chance. It says all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of Yahweh. We have no chance of achieving any heights at all. We're broken and sinful, period. You sinned once, you're out. You're toast. You're dead forever. That's just the holiness of God requires it, demands it. However, there is grace. There is the blood of the Son of God. Who would have thunk the King of the universe would lay his life down, to secure his kingdom? It's such a noble, amazing, brilliant thought. It must be from God. I would argue that there's something there. And then people point to these other stories, but they don't even touch the idea of the creator of everything seen and unseen himself has laid his own life down at the behest of his Father, who is spirit. And I won't get into the depths of the Trinity Godhead right now, but go there with the Son. Think of him as God, very man, both. And he laid his own life down. That's just, even said to Pilate, you don't take my life, I lay it down. I might be wrong about that. He said that to somebody. And he did. He said, I lay my own life down. I give my own life as a ransom for many. He knew he was the Lamb of Isaiah 53. He knew it. And many of the Jews of the time of Christ also knew it. There's this new book out, and I'll just put it there. And it goes into detail of all the archaeological findings and the things that prove that at the time of Jesus, the time of Yeshua, there were many Jews who were expecting the suffering servant, the suffering Messiah, Mashiach ben Yosef. And he was that man. He was that Messiah, that Mashiach. And he was very God and very man. And so consider your own ladder today. Think about what is happening in the spirit around me. I've got the force of heaven is for me by 2/3. I've got a majority vote. Yay! But on the other hand, all of my own weaknesses ingrained, scratched into my own flesh are the weaknesses of my body. And yet I get to choose with the force that's for me. And I'm not talking about a God of forces. I'm talking about the hierarchy of Yahweh of the Bible. And he has angels below him, and he is Elohim. And I'm not even going to go there on that, but that's the spirits of God, the sevenfold spirits of God. Isaiah 9, I think. And so, and Revelation 1, and 4 and 5, where it describes the seven spirits. We are beholden to this force of God's goodness upon our lives. It's a beam of light that's focused on us, laser focused on us, and it's for our good, it's for our transcendence, it's for our consciousness, it's for our awakening. Hi. I'm recording. So just go there, be there with Yahweh in your beam of light, in the beam of grace from his throne. He's focused on you. He knows what you've been through. He suffered and cried and retched with you when you were suffering, and more so than you could possibly imagine. That's Isaiah 53. It bears that out, that he bore our grief, and I believe it. He still does. Romans 10 says, the word of faith that we preach is near you. It's in your mouth. It's in your heart. That if you confess the Lord Jesus and believe that God raised him from the dead, you shall be saved. Being saved. It's a constant confession. But right before that it says, don't say in your heart, who shall ascend into heaven? That's to bring God down. Or who shall descend into the abyss? Oh, that person's going to hell, man. No, don't do that. Romans 10 says don't do that. Because that's to bring Christ up from the grave. And to me, that is deep. If you consider what are they saying here, the tense of the verb is that he's still in hell. And you have to see that it's possible that Jesus is seeded his life in the depths of pain, and he's never left that place. And you can't take that away from him because he's been there, he's done that. And we all owe a debt of gratitude to such a man who would seed his life into the depths of hell for us. So our beam is secured, and we need to learn how to ride it, learn how to climb that ladder. It's there for us. Lay your head on the rock and and assume the position of rest that opens up to the ladder of God, which is all grace. It's grace, 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 grace. Even that dark little, wannabe, whatever they are, demon, fallen angel thing, it's just part and parcel of the program, like the book of Job. He was put through these tests and trials so that the darkness could see the glory of God.
Every flowing, wholehearted, intense precision.
Just exploring the idea of really inspiring stuff. We're created by God, the infinite being, who designed the universe with infinite majesty. You look at your fingertips, you think about the structure of your brain, you think about the way the juices flow through your body and cause you to grow and think and respond to emotions. And you think about the way that humankind invents. You think about the way humankind learns to cohabit this earth with the other beings and life forms of the earth. And you can realize that we are instilled with the ability to create. And we are called to create in the image of the one who created us. So I just want to challenge you. Realize your potential. Grow to who you were meant to be. Don't limit yourself. Don't speak limiting ideas and thoughts over yourself. Don't think those thoughts that cut you down. Rise up instead and become who you're meant to be. Create, write, get a pen, use your typewriter, your little computer thingamajig, whatever it is, and write things that are unique, that are inspired, that are brilliant. Be brilliant. Reflect the light of God. It says in the Bible, a man or a woman receives nothing unless it's given from heaven. It also says he rains down his mercy on the just and the unjust. So whether you want to give credit to the King of the universe or not, shine and find out who you were meant to be. Hopefully, in the future, you'll come to the realization that the creator of the universe is not only an intimate being who wants to know you, but he's a marvelous, wonderful person that you'd love to get to know. This is my challenge. Rise to the creativity of who you are.
Atomsound sounding at atomsound.blogspot.com.
Atoms sing, atoms sound. Put your ear to the ground. Hear it sounding aloud. The universe is waiting for the revealing of the destined men and women, the children of God who make glad the Son of God in his eternal palace. Hi, you've found the Atomsound.tv video podcast, week 2, 2007, posting every Monday morning from midnight to 7 a.m. or somewhere thereabouts.
Atomsound TV.